Just when I thought I couldn't find my way out, yeah, I searched the God in me to find my way out. I know it can seem way out, but the Creator flows to and through me from way out. I'm talking way out, yeah. See, if you believe in the God in you, it's a better place. Creating the force and the power to live a better day. Just know that love and joy and peace is one in all of the same space. That you were chosen just like God. Give us your energy. That's right. I'll give myself energy. Only you can make the change. I'll give myself energy. I'll give myself energy. Shine so bright from darkness to light. From darkness to light. Yeah. And you'll find your way out. Oh, it won't seem way out. The power of God will flow through you from way out.
Welcome. This is Alchemizing Energy, and I'm your host, DJ Genesis. So, I've been on like a 2-week forced hiatus. It's interesting that a lot of things have been uncovered by this trial. Video footage has been released and things like that. But I really wanted to get into some things that some people are not really discussing as much. You have like your general discussions that are happening when it comes to this whole thing. But there's a few items that I just thought was really interesting. The first thing I want to kind of discuss is celebrities and their involvement. You don't see, normally when a case this big hits the internet, you'll see a bunch of celebrities and they will, give their opinion, especially in case this big, when the P. Diddy trial was going on, you saw all type of people making their comments, doing interviews on what they feel. But you're not hearing that many celebrities really weigh in on it. You have a few black celebrities, but what happens to all of the white celebrities, the people that are really into the culture and this, that, the other? And I thought this is really interesting where this attorney, he actually discussed that particular subject. Let's get into it.
But I was thinking about this, about the Karmelo Anthony case and white celebrities in general. Why are they so silent when something like this happens? Where's Jack Harlow? Wants to dress like he's Mos Def in the 90s. Completely silent. Where's Post Malone? White Iverson uses the black culture to get on, then switches to country music. Silent. Jelly Roll was a fat trap rapper from Texas using black culture. Switched to country. Silent. And please don't forget Kim Kardashian and the whole Kardashian family who uses black men, black culture. They even have black children. Silent. Kid Rock used black culture for every single thing he's done. Silent. Comedians, Tony Hinchcliffe, I'm not a racist, then speak on it. Shane Gillis, I'm not a racist, speak on it. Theo Von, speak on it. Andrew Scholes, speak on it. I'm so tired of all these white celebrities. Pink came out as a black woman, switched to punk rock, speak on it. Chanel West Coast, like, oh my God, I'm a rapper. I'm appropriating a black woman's soul. And now I switched to country. They consistently use the music, the culture, the swag. They don't have swag. They have wag, white Aryan gestures. They don't support you. Stop supporting them. Not everybody is welcome at the cookout anymore. Georgiana. Hey, my name is Georgiana. I'm about your mama. Yeah, Georgiana, where are you? How long till you switch over to country music? Silent. Stop letting these artists use black culture. They love your rhythm, but they don't want any part of the blues. Culture vultures. It's time to be appreciators and not appropriators. I will always expose their secrets. Secret Service Sam out, Samson for president of the world.
So shouts out the Secret Service, Tim. Out of all like the people that I like kind of watched throughout this, he's one of the people that I like kind of like, watched the most. But I also thought it was really interesting. He talked about what celebrities actually like did say something about the case. And you know who did? What celebrity did? And I thought it was really interesting, like, wow, that's interesting. Of all the people to say something, the biggest celebrity there is was the main one that said something. And guess who it was? It was Elon Musk. Elon
Elon
Musk.
Musk is coming out swinging right now too. Elon Musk is coming out saying, show the tape, y'all. When you got billionaires is coming out saying something, it's getting real out here in these streets, y'all. And we're about to talk about it. Hello and welcome to my channel. Please like, share, and subscribe if you like this video.
And make sure you like, share, and subscribe. And I think it was really interesting about this whole thing about Elon and his. I believe, like, do you think that Elon could have been the reason why the tapes were actually released? Do you think that he had like some play in this releasing of the tape? What do you think?
And the Fair Act use is in my description box, y'all. So let's get to it, y'all. Let's get to it. Y'all, Shitika is hitting the fan when you got Elon Musk coming out. And let me tell y'all something about Elon Musk. Okay, y'all? He was one of the people that was against Karmelo Anthony. Y'all, recently, Elon Musk made a public statement expressing outrage regarding the fatal sticking of 17-year-old Austin McCaff, okay, by 17-year-old Karmelo Anthony at an April 25th Texas high school track meet. Musk called the demise penalty if Anthony was found guilty. This guy was one of his people that was against him, y'all.
Yes, Elon Musk was calling for the death penalty of Karmelo if he said he definitely murdered him, and that murderer should get the death penalty. He was definitely against, Karmelo innocent. I think he probably still is. I think that was his final say, is that, hey, he's definitely did it. He's a murderer and he should get the death penalty. But it's interesting because he did, I believe that his tweet is one of the reasons why I think that people, like, they respect Elon, and I don't think that it's a coincidence that he was the one that says release the tape. Let's go.
Against him. He wanted Karmelo Anthony to get the demise penalty, basically. This is what he wanted. If he's found guilty, this is what he wanted. Okay, y'all? Elon Musk is changing his tune now, too. Now that all this other information is coming out, all of these new people are coming out saying that they saw something different on the tape. And we're seeing that, the judge, the prosecutor, the DA, whatever you want to call them, they all left out key information. They left out evidence that would prove that he was innocent, y'all. Was innocent. Was basically fighting for his life on them bleachers, y'all. This is the information they left out. Now, Elon Musk, who was saying that he wants, if he gets found guilty, he wants him to get the demise penalty, he's now calling for and urging authorities, y'all, to release the video. Word on the street. Elon Musk is coming forth urging authorities, the judge, the prosecutors, and everything, to release the tape. And
why wasn't this a big deal when it was going on? Like, the fact that Elon Musk came out and said release the footage and then dropped the footage, and then next thing you know, the footage gets dropped. No one thought that was interesting, or that okay, one of the most richest men, I guess, in the world, I'm not even sure in the world, makes that statement, and then right after he makes that statement, boom, the tape gets released. Do we really think that is? Now, as far as being innocent, hey, someone did get unalived in this, so not necessarily innocent, but I will say, I think it's really interesting that such a powerful person, when I just played, this guy talking about how white celebrities were not involved, I think people want to stay as far away from this case as possible because it was so marginalizing. But it's interesting that one of the most powerful men, when he said something, things got to moving.
Response to the fatal sticking of the 17-year-old Okay, this is word on the street. This is what they're saying. How do you get somebody like this to change their tune? And they were already talking about go for the juggler. If he's convicted, go for the juggler. Because, everybody was thinking, just like the parents, that they had to prove that he did something wrong. And according to, 50 something or more people that saw the video footage, they felt at ease when it came down to the sentencing after they saw that tape. They thought that Karmelo was going to walk up out of there, y'all. We're going to walk up out of there. They figured that he was innocent. He was attacked, but no ifs, ands, buts about it. He was not only attacked by one person or two people, he was attacked by...
That's not true. With that, he was not attacked by 4 people, and we're going to discuss that as well. We're going to discuss the fact that he was not attacked by 4. It was actually 2. But the thing about it is that, like I said, the main thing is that no one is talking about Elon Musk. Like he said, dropped the footage back in September. Released the video. He and then it was interesting because Sarah Peter, I think her name is, she was going against Elon Musk, saying that because of what you just said, that's going to cause doxing of people and this, that, the other. She was against what Elon Musk said. So that's another thing. Everybody's not always in solidarity with each other in the white nationalist movement. Some people, it's interesting, but I think it's really ironic. I'm thinking a person of this major power and influence, them saying something, I think it holds weight. And I'm just wondering why nobody really discussed or talked about this really.
See, this is when the truth got to come out. You didn't show all of these people the tape. Now they're witnesses. In the appeal, all they got to do is go to that list and pull back everybody that saw that tape. All right, what you gonna do? Threaten all the people that y'all showed the tape to? Because there's a lot of people getting threats right now, y'all. So many people are getting threats right now. And only thing that the public is asking, show the tape. They showed the tape.
So they finally did show the tape, and it was really interesting because one thing that you did find out, and I want to give a shout out to Mel of Watching the World, he actually began to discuss the fact that Karmelo Anthony arrived there after Austin Metcalf and Karmelo and Hunter Metcalf. And people were pissed about that information. I'm not sure if you guys got to see that, but I thought that was interesting as well. Is that, yes, it is a fact that actually Karmelo arrived after. And then you have other people that actually said the same thing as well. People on their channels that actually said it. So let me get that video because I wasn't sure if I was going to get into that or whatever, but I think we should, because I think that nobody's really talking about that either. That he was actually, he showed up second. Karmelo Anthony did. Oh, let me see. I'm trying to find it. Hold on. I'm trying to find the part where it shows him coming down. That's not the one. The bleachers, because so when Watching the World, he did an entire review of the tape, and he actually showed Karmelo Anthony arriving first. And he showed Austin Metcalf and his brother. I'm sorry, not Karmelo Anthony arriving. Austin Metcalf and his brother arriving before Karmelo Anthony. But you know what? I didn't have it prepared, so I'm not gonna hold you guys up. I'm gonna just get into the other things that I find interesting. But shouts out to Watching the World for revealing that the fact that the Metcalf people were there first. So the next part I wanted to kind of go into, and let me talk about the Elon Musk released the video. So he called for the releasing of the video back in September 9th, 2025. All right. And then you had Sarah Fields going against Elon. He says, you all need to leave it alone. There's a protective order in place for a reason. The footage was open to the public for anyone who submitted requests. I've seen it along with many others. So Sarah Peters, she's seen it. Sarah Fields, I'm sorry. I want to call her Peters. So I just think it's interesting, you know. She says, good job, Elon. You played right into Karmelo Anthony Camp's hands. They're all celebrating. The same people who doxed these children. His supporters are taking credit for what you are demanding. Because he said release the video. So I think it was interesting is that, you know, people are thinking, you know, it's like if Elon Musk was calling for the release of the video and eventually they had to release the video. You know, I think that enough speculation was going on. The media kind of was just going wild, and people, they had to eventually just let it be known. Okay, here, this is what happened, you know. And more people are finding discrepancies within the video itself, you know. Let's go into one of the things that I thought was pretty interesting that this content creator, shouts out to Denat, and he actually found something interesting. And first he's going to explain how images and stuff like that get manipulated, and then let's talk about like these videos and how these videos have a lot of weird discrepancies with them. Let's go.
The video is heavily edited. It has mask on it. It is not the original authentic footage. And so I'm going to introduce you guys to a certain type of technology that has existed, but is new to the general public. And I know this technology exists because I had to use it on my own short film.
Hey guys, in today's tutorial, I will show you how to remove anything from your videos.
Okay, so right there, see how when he removes this object from the video, it creates like a
tutorial. I will show you how
it creates like a smudge, and you can see that something has been removed, and there's some type of artificial background inseminated to compensate for what has been removed. And if you're not trained, your naked eye cannot see it. Okay, you can see like a blur in a smudge here. So let me go back to, and if you look closely, it look like a ghost. Something is there and is being hidden for whatever reason, whatever purposes.
So the first thing I'm going to do is select the video clip and go to the wand tool here and just add a magnetic mask. This feature is only on the new Final Cut Pro version 11. So if you don't have it, then you'll probably need to update Final Cut Pro. And then let's click on the subject and then click Analyze. This will track the subject and create a mask. Up here, let's click Done. So now it's removed the background. So we want to go up here, click Invert Mask. So it removes the person. Now let's copy and paste our video clip. And on the bottom layer, now let's go to the Transform tool here. And if we move the video across, it's basically just replacing it with the same video. And on shots like this, it'll work really well.
And as you guys can see, like there's still like an outline of that person there, and it will look like invisible people because it has been chroma keyed and outlined to be removed.
So it's not going to work on every video clip, but for quick shots, it actually works quite well. We still have an outline of the person here. So if we click the top video clip and on the feather on the mask, we turn the feather up, it's going to get rid of that outline. And now if I play that back to the untrained eye, it's pretty hard to spot that we've just added a mask there and replaced the video. I've also created a plugin which makes it even quicker to remove objects and people. So if you already have the effects expansion pack, I'm going to add this plugin to that pack. So to get it, you just need to download the pack again to get the drag this onto my video and then select the part of the video that I want to remove and just click Analyze up here. So now it's going to track that mask on the video, and then we can click Done. And straight away, it already does a pretty good job of removing the subject. We just need to go to the settings here. If we go down to the feather at the bottom.
And you see how like he's removed this subject, but it looks like only because we know he's removed the subject, when this guy's moving his hand, it'll look pixelated or it'll look distorted simply because the person who did the chroma key don't have the technology to go in or don't have the patience or for whatever reason didn't smooth this out. So when you see an edited video, you will actually see real people looking like they got different extensions or some type of pixelation when punches and shit are thrown because they're going in and chroma keying and editing out real people. This is why it's hard to see what happened underneath that tent. Not only was it darkened, but people underneath that tent and all over the stadium was removed out of this video. And so people tried to attack me, these racist people, and say, I don't know what I'm talking about. Again, let me show you guys. Here's a clear example. Again, ladies and gentlemen, this is like the Kanika Jenkins footage. Let me go back a little bit. Okay, there it is. There it is. Okay. All right. You guys, right here is an invisible person walking. Do you see that invisible person? Do you see that invisible person? Okay.
That's
not pixelation. That's not it's not pixelation at
all.
People. It is someone putting a mask over this footage.
What do you guys think about this? Like that is clearly a mask being put over a person. That is not a video glitch. Meanwhile, let's say that this video was done in 4K. Okay, so there would not be like this pixelation, this imaginary person that who knows, I'm not sure who that was, but there would not be this ghost, this ghost of a person walking down the bleachers. Who was that?
Let me show you guys. Here's a clear example. Again, ladies and gentlemen, this is like the Kanika Jenkins footage. Let me go back a little bit. Okay, there it is. There it is. Okay. All right. You guys, right here is an invisible person walking. Do you see that invisible person? Do you see that invisible person? Okay. That's not
what is that? So here's the thing. There's a lot. I'm not trying to say somebody's innocent or not or guilty or whatever. People, I'm just talking about like how like when media and things get manipulated, and there's definitely some manipulation going on that people are not talking about. So let's continue.
Pixelation. That's not it's not pixelation at all. People. It is someone putting a mask over this footage and removing whole human beings and doing so many at one time to where you're sloppy and you're not cleaning up the shadows within is what you're not doing. Walking. Do you see that invisible person? Do you see that invisible person? That's not pixelation, people. Okay. That's not all right. So, I know a lot of racist white people want to call me dumb and stupid and all this other shit. And this is not just happening in a video with Karmelo Anthony. It happened also, contrary to popular belief, it happened during the Jeffrey Epstein suicide. Somebody went in there and they edited them out of the video. This is another clear example of, some creditor being stabbed 25 times in the jail. But I don't know if you guys see that these men are visible. And this person who's editing this video is taking all the police out of it so that they can't even be identified. See how this person is walking and then they reappear because they don't want you to see that. And even though that person, there's another person, even though these people have been edited out of the video, you still can see the railing and somewhat the background with what they're doing. Okay. And then here's another video, the Kanika Jenkins video that was edited the same way and people were removed when people were sitting on these stairs. And it was weird. We had to see shadows on the ground. There's technology to pick up the shadows. There's technology to remove whole cars out of videos. You can remove any and everything out of a video. This technology has existed ever since Marilyn Monroe, and typical people just don't understand. They don't get it. Okay, let me go here. And then you see like shadows and multiple things distorted on the floors because the people moved out. Look, you see the shadow behind Kanika Jenkins? And it's because they're removing whole bodies out. And this is why it's such a bad quality, because if it was the actual quality of the video, you would be able to look at it. So they got to mask it on top of masking, on top of masking, on top of masking these videos. Okay. So why does it matter? Gentlemen, this is like the Kanika Jenkins footage. Let me go back a little bit. Okay, there it is. There it is. Okay. All right. You guys, right here is an invisible person walking. Do you see that invisible person? Do you see that invisible person? That's not pixelation. That's not people. And if you go to the tent video, which I'm going to go to in a little bit, you will see that there's bodies removed. There's arms, there's hand, there's these things that remove, and it just look like somebody, like almost like somebody's spirit is coming out of their body, right? That's what it kind of looked like once they're removing things and cannot fully remove an arm that is actually connecting to the other person, and that just looks like a shadow or some type of pixelation around that particular individual. So I'm showing you guys technology in real time that I believe has been used quite a bit of times, heavily by law enforcement, and also at times when they want to paint a certain narrative.
Listen, I'm not saying, I'm just looking, I'm just saying, okay, people aren't talking about this as much, that these videos have ghosts walking around I don't know why. And you can't always blame that on, oh, it's just it was pixelated. No, that's not. No, when a person, you can see a whole individual walking past and they're just erased from the video, like for that amount of time when you have a 4K video. Since when does a video in 4K pixelate like that? No, it's 4K. So I thought that this was an interesting take on it. Shout out to Denat and his research of this, because people aren't really going over that. Let's talk about it.
And we're not dumb. We're not going to be falling for any of that. So let me go back to the footage of underneath the tent, and you guys can also see things being edited underneath this tent as well.
See, there's like, this is a person, there's a person right there.
Shadows, that's what they didn't want you to see. They chroma keyed out people. They chroma keyed out people to the point to where when they climbed up from the memorial tent, you couldn't even see them. Which way they went, they just disappeared around that dome.
Oh, let me go back. Let me go.
See all of that? See all of that shit that look like shadows? That's what they didn't want you to see. They chroma keyed out people. They chroma keyed out people to the point to where when they climbed up from the memorial tent, you couldn't even see them. Which way they went, they just disappeared. Like they didn't run after him and up those bleachers. Like he was way up there by himself. And nobody was right there harming him. You see, now look, when everybody else leave out the bleachers, you don't see nobody else going up or even running after him besides Eddie, who is filming and recording the incident.
So let's talk about the fact that Eddie, you could see him with his phone out on the video. But he says he faked like he was recording. That was weird. Like, what? Who fake records? But I mean, we already went through that you could hear that on several videos where people are questioning a person that is recording the entire thing, but then they pretend like they faked it. That was interesting too. That means that evidence was then withheld. So I don't know. I just think it's a lot of strange things. I mean, this is like going to be like the JFK case. You know what I'm saying? Like, who killed JFK? So
all of this is edited. All of this is layered with multiple masks. There's somebody walking past. Their whole body is like a shadow because they don't want people to be seen, identified.
And one thing I will say, and I think so I saw some people pointing this out, is that this side right here, what's up with this side? What's up with this? Like, this is one color. I mean, maybe they selected it to enhance it or to make it look bigger or whatever. So you have the bleachers. I don't know, but this right here on the side looks really strange. I don't get that. Now maybe on the new video that they actually released, I don't know, but there was some manipulation going on. Nobody really is talking too heavily about the manipulation of videos, how these videos are. Have ghosts walking around on them, like people are disappearing, all this stuff.
This is not authentic representation of what actually occurred. And again, I've showed you guys the technology behind it. So go and call somebody else dumb. I know what I know. Okay, there's people down here in front of the gate that's being chroma keyed out. There's people walking past. There's people, look right there. You'll see there's somebody walking past down there. There's somebody right here walking past that's clearly been chroma keyed out because on top of this bad grainy shit, this is artificial technology. This is not legit. This is not something that I would see or something that I would count on to claim beyond a reasonable doubt. But on the other hand, if you got witnesses that are young and that care about the representation and standard, or probably even jealous of you, like an Edwin Parra, who claimed that he didn't know Karmelo Anthony and tried to lie about his whole dealing with him and his relationship with him, threw him under the bus and acting like he didn't know why he was underneath the tent and shit like that. When you have
wasn't there couldn't there have been like an objection to, or like some type of I don't know, when people lie on the stand, couldn't they like have been, I mean, I get it, people can forget, but how could you forget an entire friendship? So that means that person was lying. If a person says that, no, I didn't know him and this, that, the other, and then you say, well, if you didn't know him, how was all these pictures? Isn't that perjury? So at what point does perjury come into play? What point does, okay, this person clearly told a lie on the stand? I don't know. But it's interesting. I'm not taking taking a side. I'm just saying there was some lies going on that stand.
Whole relationship with them. This is the picture of Karmelo and Anthony chilling together a week or 10 days before the April 2nd, 2025 stabbing incident. Also, another gentleman by the name of Kevon Miller was at this particular event. He had a video is posted onto his own Facebook page as well as his mother Facebook page on this event of him running. So I know he was out there during the April 2nd, 2025 incident. I don't know if a Kevon Miller testified in court, but what I do know that Kevon Miller has a jersey number that's right next to the jersey number of the Metcalf twins, and he got a scholarship from Jeff Metcalf. In addition to Kevon Miller being rewarded with opportunity, scholarship, privileges, access, or whatever that came with this GoFundMe, Queen Sheba Darling, shout out to her, she was actually in the court. Now, I don't got the transcripts, I don't know these names, but Queen Sheba Darling was in the court and saw these witnesses in real time. And she specifically said during this witness's testimony, this guy right here circled that was hanging out with the Metcalfs, Jeff Metcalf would be seen directing the witnesses' responses by nodding as defense counsel asked questions. Nods were signaling the witness while he testified under oath. Jose lied under oath. He had nothing to lose. He's a proud boy. Okay, it's like, oh, who cares? And I feel like as more and more information about Karmelo come out, how people like me that are smart enough to debunk a whole video and show how his actual masking and illegitimate sources of information coming out, I feel like Karmelo Anthony's life is in danger in custody. Now, I did see.
I'm gonna say this is that I'm not listen. Someone says so. You're saying that because they were black that means they were friends. And I didn't say anything about being black. Everyone is making things about race. I'm talking about the case and how things are being hidden in this case. Things are being manipulated, and I think that when people are everybody is so just keen on like yeah he did it. So that okay, I'm not questioning. He got tried. He got convicted, but what about all these other this evidence that's like kind of weird? Like, you're saying that just because they're black doesn't mean they're friends. Well, but I'm taking pictures with you. We're having a good time. I'm sitting next to you at track meets. They might not be besties, but they were not just okay, acquaintances. Let's not say friends, acquaintances, right? But according to the testimony, it's like no, we weren't. And then he had to bring it out. Well, no. Well, what about this? What about these pictures from like years ago? Isn't that like telling a lie? If you're saying no, I didn't know him like that, and then they bring out pictures showing, hey, that's not true. These are some images of like back when you guys were having a great time together. This is y'all on the track field, and like it seems like so like I said, things that are not really being really pushed that hard discussed. And even the defense didn't push once those things were found. Like he didn't press the issue. I think that's strange. Like, why would the defense not push that? Because that makes your testimony go out the window. If you would lie about this, you'd lie about other things, or if you would skirt the truth on something as easy as, hey, were y'all friends? Well, no, we were acquaintances. He knew my cousin, like stuff like that, but not like, oh no. And then he's able to, the defense could just bring up pictures like after pictures, and now it looks like he's lying. So let's go.
Somebody, made a whole video about Karmelo Anthony being protected in jail and how nobody's going to rock with him. How nobody's going to bother him, especially not white people, because we all know that the prison population is majority black. And this particular OG came out and said that, hey, ain't nobody going to be messing with Karmelo Anthony. White people gonna get gone about.
No, honey, I've heard opposite. I've heard that there he is getting some pushback in jail. Because it's gonna naturally happen. People are. I've heard he has bounties on his head, so I haven't heard that he's 100% protected. So I don't think that he's having a good time in prison at all.
You understand what I'm saying? That's what he said as far as prison lingo. But I'm in fear of Karmelo Anthony's safety because not only are we, the public, able to call out Collins County and see what they're doing wrong, we're also able to advocate for him in a way in which like no other. Okay. Everybody on the internet attacked me and told me that I didn't know what I was talking about, that if they're invisible people, how do you see them? Because they've been chroma keyed and masked out. If there's chroma key and mask done in the video of people simply walking past and people that are there, and y'all don't want people to know that they're there while the incident occurred. That whole video is completely tainted. If you got witnesses lying under oath and being coached by Jeff Metcalf, I'm going to question every other witness in every particular instance. This is a situation where a young black boy was lied on.
I'm not advocating for anything.
This is a situation where a young
I'm playing a
his
video
father
and
failed him to the
discussing
extent where he
chroma
didn't even teach
key.
him self-defense. You had to get in touch with a troll like Charleston White that played with your son, Freedom, and then got t-shirts called Watermelon Felon and stole that from a white man. No origination at all. He paid for Karmelo Anthony to have boxing classes, martial arts classes, and shit like that because evidently he don't know self-defense. And when we heard that take, he put his hands on me, I'm like, damn, that's a pussy ass nigga. Okay. Oh, pussy ass nigga. Pussy ass nigga. That's what I got from that. And no shade to Karmelo, but at the end of the day, god damn. Whatever happened to being able to take an ass whooping? Shit, given his background and shit like that, nigga, when a motherfucker want to take an ass whooping, don't get the police call, don't get to pulling weapons and all this shit, bitch. Let's go. Let's get it, nigga. Like, is you cool? This big deny, bitch. I live for this shit, bitch. I get high for fighting. I turn to Goku when I fight. You understand what I'm saying? So I be like, what's good? Niggas don't want to fight no more. They want to go to the courthouse. They want to pill up weapons and shit like this. Softer than a bitch. Softer than cotton candy out there, motherfucker. And Karmelo's in prison. And even though he's protected by the black niggas, they got their needs and they desire. And they going to taste him and see if he's sweeter than cotton candy. You know
Thank you.
Don't drop the soap while we...
Hey, listen. They're not told. No lies told. I mean, they're only going to be able to protect him for, he got 35 years. They're not going to protect him all 35 years. So anybody that thinks that they're going to be up there protecting him like that is delusional. Okay. At some point, the prison situation is going to take place and God bless him. But no, it's not, it's not going to be cotton candy and rose fields. Let's go.
Advocate for you. Free that nigga, because that video is chop botched and bullshit, and anybody with a reasonable mind will be able to see that Karmelo Anthony was played with in real fucking time. Okay. There's another case that has gone viral out of North Carolina, Griffin, North Carolina. This black boy, I don't think I can play it. I don't think I can really play it because it's too gruesome, where this biracial kid was beat up and jumped by multiple white boys who looked like they wanted to unalive him. So he was dating this white girl and broke up with her. And there was an incident to where this white girl just, pretty much let these white boys that are just boys using him like target practice, playing him like he's other or some shit like this. The video is so disgusting. Now I told y'all the story about how I killed the cat, and I'm not proud of it. I'm not. But it was just like an experiment to me, and I never did it again. I was like, let me see what this is like. So you got these white boys in 2026 experimenting on choking out, physically assaulting, abusing, and coercing young black boys not to advocate for themselves, their rights. For all we know, Karmelo Anthony could have actually experienced exactly what we see underneath that fucking tent that Frisco ISD won't release. And even then, I feel like there was some editing taking place. I remember what the initial witnesses said, even white people in the community. They had black people to sign to say that they're going to Frisco ISD to see the video, to track them, to keep dibs on them. But all the white people, even meth heads like Sarah J. Fields, was allowed to go and see this video, this edited version of the video, through the prosecutor office, because the prosecutor hired a video editor to put mask and all this shit over the video. So
now here's the thing. Now I'm not going to call Sarah Fields a meth head. I don't have anything against her. That was not me that said that. I'm just playing the video that he said. I think his take on it is very interesting. And let's continue.
We don't see exactly what we're seeing, so that there's no reasonable doubt that Karmelo was not defending himself. He's not supposed to be there. We don't know who he is. He came up, he did this. Even had medical examiners lying about the autopsy of Austin Metcalf. How you got Jeff Metcalf and his mother saying that they was trying to save him in the ambulance, and by the time that they got to the hospital, 10 minutes later, they found out that he was gone. If he was DOA, then that's would have been DOA. Why y'all chasing the ambulance, hoping he make it? Because evidently it just wasn't a stab wound. It was secondary stab wound, according to what I see. So Austin Metcalf is really white man's George Floyd. The revolution.
So anyway, that's him in his movie that he was in. But, and I don't want to play that. But I think that his take is an interesting take. Now, there's also something else I find that was really another thing that people are not talking about enough. And that is Hunter Metcalf's, his take on the entire situation. And he said a few things. Now, maybe he minced his words, but he did say a few things that didn't quite make sense, which definitely leads me to believe is the reason why he never testified. And I think that the reason why Karmelo didn't testify, because you could say something, and in court, that's set in stone. Now, he said something during this interview that I found kind of questionable. Okay. And I'm not sure how many people caught on to it. Let's go.
This kid, before I knew his name now, this kid was sitting under our tent at track. We asked him to move.
So the kid was sitting under the tent. Now we've already went over Mel's thing that says that they arrived first. So he's saying that he was sitting under the tent. Then he didn't. I'm not sure whether he arrived first, second, based on this, whatever, but based on what he's saying is that he was sitting in a tent, right? We asked him to move. Let's go.
He started getting aggressive and talking reckless. And my brother stepped in and said, "You need to move." And he's like, "Make me move." Austin grabbed his backpack. The kid.
See that there? Austin grabbed his backpack. Now, did he grab his backpack or did he grab Karmelo's backpack? Whose backpack did Austin grab? That's no, I don't hear that many people like really going over that. Whose backpack did Austin grab?
Reckless. And my brother stepped in and said, "You need to move." And he's like, "Make me move." Austin grabbed his backpack. The kid, I tried to whip around as fast as I could, but I didn't see the stab. But then I look at my brother, and then I'm not going to talk about the rest. So just that's just what I saw.
Right. So and God bless him. I'm sure that's hard to lose a twin. So may he, let much prayers go out to him for having to experience watching that, and it's really sad. But that's the part I'm saying, that he started getting aggressive. Austin grabbed his backpack. So who grabbed whose backpack? That was interesting. Let's go.
We asked him to move. He started getting aggressive and talking reckless. And my brother stepped in and said, "You need to move." And he's like, "Make me move." Austin grabbed his backpack.
All right. So the key word is we asked him to move. That means it's that they asked him to move first. Then Austin stepped in, and then whatever. So the part that I think that's missing here is I think that Hunter asked him to move first. And then Austin stepped in for his brother. That's what I believe happened. I believe that Hunter saw him. He asked him to move. Austin stepped in when Karmelo got the mouth and all, and then the fight ensued. That's what this is based on what he's saying right here. That timeline makes sense, right? We asked him to move. So let's go.
And talking reckless. And my brother stepped.
The brother stepped in, right? Right. So what happened? He saw a person was sitting in their tent. We asked him to move. Then the brother stepped in. Austin stepped in. The sad part is I would hate that the fact, and I'm sure that that Hunter is probably being broken up inside. That I believe that him and probably a few other of the track people were the ones that started the whole this argument that ended up with his brother getting stabbed. Let's go.
This kid, before I knew his name now, this kid was sitting under our tent at track. We asked him to move. He started getting aggressive.
We asked him to move. So who is we? Is that him and some other people? When you say we, that means me included, right? If I say we did something, he didn't say they. They asked him to move. They said we asked him to move. That means he included asked him to move. Then Austin steps in, fight ensues, something happens. Why is it nobody really focusing on the words that are being said here? So it was not just between Austin and Karmelo. It was a group of people asking him to move, including him. Austin steps in because he was charged with, being the leader. And now we're here where we are. So, and then I think there was also about the grabbing of the backpack. Austin grabbed his backpack. So, watch this. If so, a kid is in a thing. So it sounds like there's a lot going on in this situation. You know, he was up there to talk to his acquaintance from track and field. Whatever happened that they were probably talking about, he's like, okay, why are you here? You need to go. But this wasn't just a one-on-one situation. It was a lot of people that was involved with. This was, you know what I'm saying? If you imagine that you're surrounded by people like, you need to go, blah, blah, and then, you know, they start talking mess or whatever, that's where it's an issue. So let's go.
This kid, before I knew his name now, this kid was sitting under our tent at track. We asked him to move. He started getting
right. So so we asked him to move before he started getting aggressive. So it wasn't like he's being aggressive and then they ask him to move. He's sitting under the tent. They ask him to move. He gets aggressive. Like, I'm not fixing to move. What? Why? You know, whatever. Then I heard that Austin grabs his backpack from him. That's what he says. So we asked him to move. We all asked him to move. Austin grabs his backpack. So this is what he said prior to so this is the only really testimony that we really have of Hunter. I don't know why this couldn't be played in court. Like, say, okay, if Hunter won't testify, why couldn't they play this in court? I don't know. Because this is really his testimony of what happened. So let's
aggressive and talking reckless. And my brother stepped in and said, you need to move. He's like, make me move. Austin grabbed his backpack. The kid, I tried to whip around as fast as I could, but I didn't see the stab. But then I looked at my mouth. No.
All right, so we're not gonna keep on with that part, but I think it's interesting. I'm not sure if he said Austin or also. Let's just also say that. Like, I don't know. He said it sounded like he said Austin grabbed his backpack, but I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt. But I think that okay. I don't know what the appeal is gonna happen, how it's gonna go down, but I think that it's interesting. Can't they force a witness to testify? And then there was like this whole thing with the witnesses, right? Now you see, so this is the conversation. I thought it was really interesting. All right. So he's saying that, all right, 2 teenage witnesses testified for the defense on the 7th day of the trial. Anthony, 19 of Frisco, has pleaded not guilty to first-degree murder, right? So they said that he was crying. So, all right, here we say, okay, teammates testified. Okay, teammate testified that Anthony appeared emotional and was crying after the stabbing. He was crying. There was a coach comforting him. The witness says, I would say distraught is the best way to describe it. So he was distraught. So a person that is trying to off somebody, I don't think that they would be crying and be distraught, you know. That's, you know, and like this is like cold-blooded, you know, like he was distraught, you know. The witness explained the Centennial track team was in a dugout of a nearby baseball field to shelter from the rain. So this clearly wasn't about sheltering from the rain. That's another thing, is that people are talking about like that it was because it was raining and he was trying to shelter himself. They already were in a dugout, and that's because they didn't have the thing over the tarp over them. All right, so I heard loud voices over there, and when I looked, people were not facing the field anymore. They were looking back. The witness says he walked towards the memorial tent when he saw someone's arm reach out and saw a push into Anthony. What I saw was Austin pull up his shirt and say he got stabbed. He testified, adding that he did not see the stabbing. Okay, but on cross-examination, the DA, the district attorney, Worski, challenged the witness in earlier statements, saying that Anthony was surrounded before the stabbing. Prosecutors showed surveillance footage that appeared to show the witness was not looking toward the memorial tent when the stabbing occurred. My impression when we first met you was that you thought when you saw Karmelo surrounded, it was before the stabbing, Worski asked. Yes, sir, the witness says. That was actually after the stabbing, witness Worski has. When you and I met, you told me you thought it was before the stabbing. I couldn't barely tell. The witness responded, I thought it was as the stabbing was happening. So these people are doing this is the reason why they didn't want to put Karmelo or Hunter on the stand, because then words can get all misconstrued. Well, you said this and you didn't say that. So you imagine when you have that interview that's on like the news, imagine how Hunter could flub his words and say, well, this, that, the other, and then the defense could come along and discredit Hunter. Same thing with Karmelo Anthony. Because if you see right here that the witness right here is retelling a story that they don't got it wrong. You know you're wrong. Yes, sir, the witness says. Okay, so the defense attorney's calling witnesses, and then the prosecution is able to cut them down quickly. So on both sides, you have the prosecution and the defense able to cut down any witness's testimony. Now, why would you put Karmelo Anthony on the stand to cut down what he's got to say? And the same thing with Hunter. That's what I believe is the reason why they were not brought to the stand. So with all that being said, I believe that I think that these are the reasons why people were not brought to the stand. I think it's going to be interesting how this appeal goes. I don't know if there's even a chance for appeal. I don't think it's going to go through. I'm sorry. I just don't have the faith in the system, you know. If it does go through, that'd be interesting. But for the most part, I don't think it's going to happen. Because when you have all of this, like kind of like everything is just so jumbled, and everything is being based on a video that you could barely see. Because once the melee happens underneath the tent, there's no way, you can't really suss out what exactly is going on. You can see figures moving back and forth, and then you have certain parts of the video where things are disappearing and all type of stuff. How, like, it's this case, I believe, was a. I'm sorry, I believe that he was just. I think that that might have been his purpose. You know, it was like a sacrificial like situation. You know, you made the bad decision by bringing that knife. Now, police said that, you know, hey, the knife, it was legal, and it could be brought into stadiums, that the size of it and things like that. We don't know if any other people probably had knives. If it's even in the culture in high school that when you go to track meets that you might have a knife. You know, people are only focused on the Karmelo Anthony having a knife, but we don't know how many other people probably have knives in their bags and people don't even know it, weapons, etc. Texas is a type of a state where having weapons and having like guns and stuff like that is a normal thing. That's another thing I wanted to like bring to this table is that, you know, people keep talking about, well, he had a knife at the school. Well, no, he had a knife at a track, a public track, you know. Yeah, it's owned by the ISD. They should not have knives in certain areas, but come on. You have people like, listen, that's why they have metal detectors at schools, you know, and they have to go through security to get into the school. Why? Because these are high school. They're coming into adulthood, and everybody's not going to follow the rules. So yeah, he had a weapon on him, and unfortunately got used, and people are deceased now. But the main thing is that why didn't they have metal detectors at the Frisco? Did they all think that they were safe because they're in Frisco? Do they have a false sense of security there? Why isn't anybody suing the school? Where are the lawsuits to the school? I also saw that, hell, Karmelo had to sprint about 200 meters before he even got to an adult. Did anybody think that was strange? You're at a track meet, you know, there's nobody, no adult supervision, no security. He had to run 200 meters or at least 150 meters to even get to a coach. There's a lot with this whole case. You know, I'm not going to be on here too long. You know, I just wanted to point out a few things that I saw that was interesting with this whole thing. Shouts out to Denat and the information that he brought to the table. I thought that was interesting too. But I'm not gonna cover it anymore because I think it's sad. I'm going to focus on bigger and better things. The next show I'm about to do is going to be talking about conspiracies because there's a lot of weird stuff going on. Aside from this, while this is happening, people are focused on this. There's trees dropping from the sky in Glasgow, Scotland. Did you guys know that? It's a lot of weird things going on. So I think that he has been served his sentence. It's really up for the appeal whether or not it's going to happen, to ruminate over it and to continuously rehash it is like useless until the appeal goes through. There's really not much else that really is to talk about unless but I haven't been able to talk about it from my side because I've been, on a break, but I just wanted to give my little 2 cents. I think is kind of strange that people aren't talking about. Instead of like going over the same thing, I wonder okay, what about this? What about that? There's some things I think is really interesting. And the timeline overall is weird. Like, why didn't they release the evidence to the public before? Why did they wait to the end of the trial to release any evidence or footage? Why was public opinion being and allowing a lot of speculation to happen throughout the entire trial when the jury was not sequestered? I thought that was weird too. Why wasn't the jury sequestered throughout the trial, but then they got sequestered when it came to actually coming up with the verdict? What's up with that? I believe that jury should have been sequestered throughout the entire trial because there was so much narratives online. There's no way you can make sure that a juror, unless they have some kind of an in-home device that cuts off the internet and TV and everything, there's no way that those juror members just you're gonna trust humans to follow that rule. I know, how does this court know that any jurors did not see any go on X or get on anything? How do they know that? I think the whole thing is just an interesting case. I think it's kind of sad. Both people lost their lives. I think it's messed up that you have Charleston White out here, just being a complete asshole. I don't really understand. Oh, here's another thing. You got people lying and saying they got jumped by people because of the trial. There's a lot of weird stuff going on. And then you got people this is causing a lot of racial discord. You know what I'm saying? And I think that it's weird, It's weird how much discord has happened. Let me see. Before I go, let me see. Is there anything I want to talk about any further about this? This whole trial to me is extremely it's sad. So it's hard to cover it because I feel bad for both. I'm a empathetic person, and I feel bad for both individuals. I don't agree with murder, and I don't agree with also I don't agree with none of this. So let's get into this. So Judge Joe Brown. Let's see what SETI has to say about Judge Joe Brown and him going against. This is another thing I think is weird. You have some people that are really kind of going in hard about this situation, and I think that it's kind of I don't know, people are they don't have any sympathy or empathy towards both sides, and I think it's really, really crazy. So, but listen, said he's gonna have some choice spicy words. Please take that into consideration. Let's go. Hold on, my bad. Said he's a little spicy, so just brace yourself, okay?
Anything that they could find, you know what I'm saying, to get people, but that that got to be, you know what I'm saying, and so because I mean, when you see that the people is because the white man ain't gonna never ride with us. You see what I'm saying? He ain't gonna never ride. Nah, what they do slick shit. Nah, if it's a Democratic Republican thing, if they find that they can use it to their benefit, to get votes and shit. They'll do it then, you know what I'm saying, to get people. But that, that got to be, that's the only time they do it. So they can give you, so they can feign chaos in society, but they don't really give a goddamn about you at all. You know what I'm saying? Just to be clear about that. They don't give a goddamn about. So, but I'm like, damn, Joe, you going, it's a lot of Negroes going hard though. They're going hard. And the reality is they do it all the time. They after this one, matter of fact, it ain't no after this one. They done already lined up some more niggas. On damn near everything black, anything that they could find to exploit about black people, they're gonna do that. You'll never find a good video, trying to uplift or because there's a lot of goodness, and you can start with that if you want it.
Yeah, you know what? That's a good point. Why is it that black folks, you have why do we always want to get out and like do this kind of smear campaign against our own vote? I think it's really interesting how, they will be the loudest ones. And Judge Joe Brown, he's an elder.
George Zimmerman, Daniel Penny. I'm gonna actually go back and see what this nigga done said about Daniel Penny. I want to see what he say about George Zimmerman. Anybody? I want to hear what he said about the police that shot Breonna Taylor. I'm gonna go back and watch this Negro. I want to judge him. You know what I'm saying? And so because when you see that the people is, because the white man ain't gonna never ride with us. You see what I'm saying? He ain't gonna never ride. Nah, what they do slick shit. Nah, if it's a Democratic Republican thing, if they find that they could use it to their benefit to get votes and shit, they'll do it then. You know what I'm saying, to get people. But that, that got to be, that's the only time they do it. So they can give you, so they can feign chaos in society, but they don't really give a goddamn about you at all. You know what I'm saying? Just to be clear about that. They don't give a goddamn about. So, but I'm like, damn, Joe, you going, it's a lot of Negroes going hard though.
Well, listen, I'm not defending Karmelo Anthony. I'm just pointing out some things I think is really interesting about the case that haven't been brought up. So please don't think that I'm over here defending anybody. I'm not. Being murder is murder. There's no reason to have a knife, and there's no reason to take it out if you're getting beat up. And that's what even Donat said. Like, come on now, you gotta throw some hands. We all athletes. You know what I'm saying? You should be able. You can't whoop nobody's behind. You can't get up and fight. I don't know, but but I think but I don't want to get into that. But I think it's interesting how we will get up here and diss and like really be really harsh. We could be black folks could be our own worst enemy at times. We don't need the white people because we already got enough black folks that's gonna get into our own, we're gonna have our own black folks that's gonna try to crucify if we make a mistake. So trust me, y'all already got it. You know what I'm saying? Trust me, we'll do it to ourselves. Okay, just sit back and watch. It's gonna be enough black folks that's gonna get up here and crucify this young man. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, don't have to worry about it.
Hard. And the reality is they do it all the time. They after this one, matter of fact, it ain't no after this one. They done already lined up some more niggas. On damn near everything black. Anything that they can find to exploit about black people, they're gonna do that. You'll never find a good video, trying to uplift or because there's a lot of goodness, and you can start with that if you wanted to. You can show the good shit, but you just ain't gonna do that. It's more profitable to show the downfall. That's just the reality of the world. You know what I'm saying? Long as you come in with some negative shit and the motherfucker died, or you talking about a motherfucker, people like controversy. They like you to go, this nigga going in. They want to hear that. White people gonna want to hear it too. Oh, this nigga going in on his own? Oh, he's a good nigga. Yeah, let's see what this good nigga saying today. And so they'll go up there and they'll but if he was talking about something good about black people, the motherfuckers wouldn't dare stop by. They wouldn't dare goddamn stop by. They wouldn't pay your ass no attention. But
can we just talk about the grift of like people that are just really like taking this to like garner more negative attention to black folks? Like, damn, and it's even getting worse that even like now when I'm on Facebook, if there's like a fight or something, you'll see that whole comment section just play like, oh, typical chimp behavior. Oh, they're chimping out. Oh, see how look, I can already tell you what color they are based on that. You know what I'm saying? And now we have our moments too, because if there's a shooting at a high school, whatever, that's like a mass shooting, we'll say the same thing. Hey, we already probably know, who it is. We all got to stop that. I mean, we live in the same country with each other, and so there's no reason to keep having this racial divide and discord. We live in the same country, guys. You're gonna encounter black folks. There's no, until they figure out how to separate out everybody, you're gonna encounter. So what's the point of having so much hatred for your own and for others? I mean, I don't get it. But let's go.
Did you talking about your own? That's when you get that cross-racial viewership and shit like that. You go straight up, 100% blackness, ride for the cause. You ain't your motherfucker, you going nigga. You're gonna have to be an extraordinary nigga to pull something off like that, like the general. You feel what I'm saying? But anyway, I couldn't believe that this nigga would go in on him like that. You know what I'm saying? And the reality is more information is coming out. You got this little FBA lawyer. I went in on the nigga and he got soft as hell, and went and, tried to flag the video and shit. The nigga soft. Big, yeah, nigga, I mean, goddamn. What they call them golden bears or golden grams and shit. Yeah, this motherfucker in here, man, soft in the motherfucker, man, want to cry and shit. Be a man. This is a battle royal of intellect. This is a battle royal of intellect. If you out here and you gonna talk about somebody else, then you should expect, somebody might say something about you. You can't cry, nigga. You can't get on the internet crying and shit, man. And that's where, and I kind of cut into the nigga because I'm like, damn, you keep repping all this FBA shit and all of this, and I see a lot of FBA riding with Karmelo, but that just show you how all over the board these niggas is, because they should have checked that nigga by now. You know what I'm saying? How y'all, this FBA, and the majority of FBA is riding with Karmelo, and then you got this lawyer, but that just showed you that he in a league, he got them goddamn fraternal motherfuckers he fucking with, so he got other allegiance. He got other allegiance, man. He ain't just that motherfucker with the fraternal order. I mean, get out of here, man. You got certification, nigga. You got to come in here and talk greasy and nigga, I mean, ain't nobody talking, like I said. If you're gonna talk, nigga, talk about all this felonious shit that's going on in the criminal justice system. Like I said, nobody wants to talk about that. They sweep that shit up under the rug. They don't want to talk about all these felonious judges. It don't shock me because, Judge Joe Brown tired in the motherfucker. Judge Joe Brown need to go lay it down. You know what I'm saying?
Judge Joe Brown got to lay it down.
But, I figured he was trying to say some good things every blue moon to a black person. So I figured, hell, if you're going to say some kind or something, then I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. Thank you, family. I most definitely appreciate you. Self-discipline 296. I appreciate you. Yeah, but you know what? When you're certified by the beast and he get ready, because like I said, they all got that line. They got to toe the line. You know what I'm saying? So the man who certified you and you have to be certified to be a judge.
And that's the thing. Can you really trust any person that's in the legal system at all? And what their opinion is? They can't get too controversial because they still have to deal with the system that they work within. So can you really trust a lawyer or a judge or whatever? Are they going to really just come out and be real? And really state what they really should, or they're gonna have to kind of go with, okay, well, according to the law, this is what it is, and blah blah blah, and whatever. And you even have the office to certatum. You know what I'm saying? People took oaths, to withhold whatever that whole thing is. Let's go.
You know what I'm saying? You got the law. That you got to go through the law of fraternity. There's a fraternity. That you have to go through to be the judge. And all of that, to be the lawyers, and it's a fraternal order, and and when you certify and they pull that line on your ass, you feel me? You got to adhere to what they saying, and that's just what it is, And so when they say, "Hey, this is what we doing right now," we're supporting Austin Metcalf, and that's what it is, and all the content creators out there and they paying them niggas, and who Don't act like you don't know, because the way you know who
content creators are definitely getting paid, whether it's through chat, super chats and this, that, the other. So, you know what? I'm glad that I wasn't really around during the height of this whole Karmelo Anthony thing, because I don't want anybody to ever think that I'm bought and paid for. My opinion is my opinion. I think this fucked up on both ends. Both sides is fucked up. I'm not happy on either side. I'm not happy that man, Austin Metcalf, lost his life. I'm not happy that Karmelo Anthony is losing his life. I think it's sad on both ends, and there was a definite the adults failed both of these kids. The adults that weren't there in the tent for the kids to make sure that things didn't get out of hand, and the school for not having a tarp for when it rains. I mean, there's so many different things. I'm like, that lead up to that really didn't even have anything to do with the kids, that led up to this, that people are so busy pointing the finger at the kids and ain't nobody talking about the school and the mismanagement that the schools was having, the people that they had in charge. I think people got like too comfortable that, hey, this isn't a Frisco, it's a rich area and there's nothing to worry about, But in Dallas, they're definitely going to have metal detectors. Hell, what if a person came in there with a rifle and did the whole mass shooting thing at the track meet? There's no way to stop that, because there's no any other stadium you go to, they're going to have metal detectors. You got to go through them. Even when I went to the high school graduation for my daughter, I had to go through a metal detector. Why is Frisco not having metal detectors? Why do you feel so confident and so trusting of regular human? It could be even the audience that's going to watch the track meet could be bringing some weapons in there. So that, I believe that there's a huge mishandling of these kids. And I don't see nobody really pushing that. Like, dude, where is the kids and the adult oversight? It's almost like that they had a track meet and the kids were let to run wild and free. Kids just going around just doing whatever. Okay, well, you supposed to be here, you supposed to be there. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, I'm over here. I'm handing out batons. I'm getting a potluck dinner. I'm over here. I'm over there. And they just left these kids at their own devices, and pretty much like a Lord of the Flies type of situation went down, Hello? I mean, you have athletes, you have opposing teams. Even at football games, you have security. So what was going on at the track meet? I don't even think I think you have to go through metal detectors at a football game, don't you? So I think that this is showing like a lapse in the system, where proper, supervision was missing. And proper precaution. And I think that, hell, if I was either parent, I would be suing the Frisco ISD. I think Jeff Metcalf should sue the Frisco ISD. I think that even I think there should be a lawsuit, because I think that there was no parents there to make sure things were done. Not parents, not only just parents, but like adult supervision. Because just because they're in high school, we can't just assume that everything's going to be hunky dory. Hell, there's security at choir when I go to my daughter's choir concert in high school, there's security there. Where was the security? Let's go.
Getting paid, the only content they gonna do is against black people. They ain't gonna do no other kind of content. That's it. You know what I'm saying? Real talk. They ain't gonna do no other kind of content. And if white people can feed off of your content, you already know what it is. That's just like the shit that Charleston White said against Karmelo Anthony.
All right, so this guy, here he goes. He says, still avoiding accountability. Honey, Austin has been held. Carmelo's been held accountable. He's in prison. So now that he's been held accountable, what about everybody else? So you're avoiding the accountability as an adult. You want only the whole 100% focus to be only, if I slip at Walmart, if someone's mopping up the floor on Walmart and I slip and fall, I can sue Walmart. I can't sue the person that was mopping the floor. I'm going to sue Walmart. So you're avoiding accountability. You're trying to focus on the person mopping the floor. hey, they already get fired. You know, Walmart, hey, you mopped the floor, you didn't put the sign up, you get fired, right? But then I do a lawsuit against Walmart because I broke my hip based on that wet thing. They didn't have the sign up. That's how it works. But what is going on in this case? So no, like everybody is avoiding accountability of the adults in the schools that were in charge. That's the accountability because, like I said, Karmelo Anthony, he got 35 years. He already got accountability. His accountability. Now he might not have gotten what y'all wanted, which was the death penalty. I mean, I'm sure that you guys would have been like doing backflips in the street if they would have been able to kill that young black man. An eye for an eye. And half of y'all are Christians, which is really wild. You know, I thought Jesus paid the price or whatever, but you know, you guys want an eye for an eye. So even with a 35-year sentence, he ain't gonna, you know, he gonna get out when he's in his 40s. Y'all are still saying that people are trying to avoid accountability, but no, like he's already got it. What's the point of beating that dead horse? He's already in prison right now. Okay, now that we've gotten that taken care of, what's up with these adults? You don't keep beating on him. He's already suffering. He's already going through hell. Trust me. It's not happy. If he's in segregation or if he's even in general population, he is going through it. I'm sure he's scared. He could probably barely sleep at night. He's not going to be the same. He's not the same. He, you know, a student, whatever he had going on for his life is over, is ruined. Everything his parents probably worked for is gone, is through. So we can't. So what's the point of continuing to beat up that dead horse? Preach to that choir. Where are the adults' accountability? What happened to that accountability?
Karmelo Anthony and his family. All the other white content creators, all the other Negro content creators, they ate that shit up. They would never fuck with Charleston White on nothing else that he talked about. But the fact that he went in on that particular issue, even the white people had this shit up all over the internet. You see what I'm saying? So they only feed and any other time they say they can't trust that nigga for nothing. But they trusted him to slander them people, knowing what type of low frequency energy nigga, because they low frequent. They doing exactly the same thing he doing. That's why they could, you know, use his content that time. But you know, they all feed off of each other. And a lot of they content, and they use a lot of white people that think just like they do in their content. You'll never find them saying one fucking good thing about black people. Not one thing. So their whole content is trying to shame black people. That's it. Now, if you're going to, it's all right to chastise your people. There's nothing wrong with that. You're supposed to chastise. But at the same time, if you're going to chastise them, you also show them how the shit is properly done. You can't just say, oh, nigga, you're doing wrong. You fucked up. I mean, you on some Sambo shit. If you chastise a child, you got to also show them how to do the shit so they don't fuck up the next time. And so y'all never put nothing up that, you know, show our people doing it right, doing, you know, positive things. Like, look at what they, you know, look at this. You know, I want to salute the family for, you know, doing some positivity in the black community. You can't get one video from them Negroes. That's how you know who is towing the line. And Judge Joe Brown, that nigga the same way. He ain't no different. He ain't no motherfucking different. So I don't listen to the nigga no way. But nigga, if you can't say nothing, just like Khalid Muhammad said, if you can't say nothing, you know, just shut the fuck up. You know, don't say shit. You know what I'm saying? Because he already, you know, nigga fighting uphill. You know what I'm saying? Motherfucker fighting uphill. You know, so what the fuck do you need to come and say something for, old nigga? You know what I'm saying? Just shut the fuck up. If you can't be on the side of your people, you know, and especially in some shit like this, you know, people thinking, I'm just gonna be real. In some shit like this, you know, I'm rolling with the fact. That's just all it is to it. I don't have to, you know what I'm saying? I'm rolling with the fact. That's just it. You know, ain't no ifs, ands, or buts about it. You know, now if motherfucker doing some ignorant shit, that's totally different. If you doing some ignorant shit, but if a black get into it with white, I'm already riding with the fam, man. That's just all it is to it. That's just how I am, you know, because I already know what didn't happen to our people who never received no justice. So what the fuck am I going to arbitrarily just side against after all the shit that didn't happen and it's still happening to us? throughout the United States in the criminal justice system. What the fuck I look like siding with them for any motherfucking thing? That's just some cool shit. But anyway, family, click that link right down there in the video description. Get on over there.
Right. But see, here's the thing is that people are saying right off rip that Charleston White is a agent. I saw a video the other day where he actually admitted to working with the Tarrant County Police Department. So I don't know. But he recently did a interview, and I think it was really interesting. This interview he did, and he's talking about his relationship with Karmelo. Interesting.
He ain't no snitch. If I'm having family problems as a man, let me tell you, little boy, street shit, so. If I'm having family problems as a man, Bobo, you hear me? If I'm having family problems as a man, I'm not coming to the internet because I picked the fuck up to have kids by. I'm not bashing my baby mama on it.
So again, okay, whatever.
Whatever you say about your baby mama, whatever you say about your baby daddy, look at your kids. Half of that is them. So how she and he put up in a row? How you?
Yeah, I just wanted to let you know I met you.
That's exactly where I be at too. That's my little spot right there.
Hell yeah! I'm listening to your No Jumper, your latest No Jumper video or podcast.
That's a pretty good one there. Same thing. See, the only reason between me and Chud has a little body size on him, a little height, so it's a little bit more intimidating when he does it. So people, if I was Chud size, somebody would have been tried to attack me violently.
Yeah.
I would have been had to use my weapons. But since I'm not a 6-something, 180 foot, I don't really pose a threat. So when guys look at me, it's easy to dismiss me and I'll kick his ass. So most guys just want to jack me up. They don't want to shoot me. They don't want to kill me. They just want to jack me up, punch me in the eye because they think they can do it. If I was a bigger stature, they probably would have been done me like Chud by now. So I psychologically use that to my advantage. I think, man, I went to college and studied psychology. I studied all kinds of shit, man. Psychology, sociology. So I literally play mind fucking games on the internet with people. They think this is me.
You sure do. It took me a while to figure out your stick.
Yeah.
No, you do. You get them out of their skin.
Man, gotta say, so they think me and Karmelo Anthony dad fell out.
That's what. Did y'all not? Because I couldn't understand your posts.
Yeah, me and his dad talked the other day.
Really? Oh, that's good.
Yeah, me and his family met the other day.
Yeah, I'm confused. Are you?
Don't listen. Stay confused. I'm not gonna bring my personal feelings, emotions, and ideologies to the world to be assassinated like everybody who does that.
That makes sense. Yeah.
So, do you think that Charleston White put that T-shirt out to support the family? Do you think that all this stuff that Charleston White is putting out is really to like do a smoke screen? What are y'all thoughts? I put the link in the chat. If anybody want to get up and talk about what do they think that Charleston White's angle is, you know? Because in one breath, he appears like he's going against the family, but then right now he says he just talked to the dad the other day. Interesting.
Yeah.
You can go far back as Jesus to Napoleon. If you bring your real thoughts, feelings, ideologies to the world, you're going to be assassinated because nobody does that. Everybody has a smile now, cry later face for the world.
Mm-hmm.
That's why you call it two-face. So you have a personal life, you have a private life, and then you have a public life. Nobody shares their private thoughts in their public world. They barely do it in their.
So is this whole thing a gaslighting mechanism? Is he gaslighting everybody? So he's saying whatever he has to say to get the attention of people. But then in the same breath, he'll say, "Oh, okay, no, I just talked to Carmelo's father the other day." Do y'all hear like that? What's going on here? What?
Personal life.
Yeah, that's true.
So I understand that. Whatever I really feel, I'm not fit to come on the internet and express it.
So he's admitting that whatever he's saying on the internet is not what he really feels. So all that hoot and holler and saying this is calculated. He's playing a character, just like there's a guy named the Man in the High Castle. He comes up there and he says all this controversial stuff. It's a character. So you have a lot of people that get on the internet and they're playing characters. They're not even being their real, true, genuine self. I'm not playing a character. What you hear from me is how I really feel about the thing. Is I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I'm not playing a fake character. This is how I really feel. So I just want to know if you want to be around some genuine like content where people are not just putting on a show to get views and clicks, and it's going to be real about what they really feel. This is you're in the right place, because I'm not down for tricking people. That's that SU trickster energy that Charleston is dealing in, and I believe that eventually it's going to backfire, because when you put on a facade and you make it seem like you are this against people and saying these things, those people really feel something about that. Like, so you put the bullseye on your head. Like, why would you do that? For what? Let's go.
Everything I do has to do with content creation and monetization. Not a message, not empowerment. Everything that I do when I click live, because I have to put a title on it. I have to come back and put a title on it. So I have to think this thing out for you guys to keep watching it.
Yeah. Are you going to do any more Vlad interviews?
I was supposed to do Vlad the other day.
Did you not?
I got Vlad scheduled for July 1st.
Oh, sweet.
So I go to California and I leave California with a Vlad TV interview, another interview.
So how do y'all feel that y'all watching a person that is admitting that everything that he says is a bunch of bullshit? That he's doing interviews and you're watching him, he's saying one thing, and 100% of what he's saying, he don't even believe himself. And you'll never know exactly what he believes, but he'll put narratives out there and have you believing that he's thinking these things, and is rage baiting people, getting people angry, dealing with your emotions. All this stuff is narcissistic. It's 48 Laws of Power, like by the T. If you don't have that book, go get it.
So July 1st, I walked out of California with $20,000 for one day.
Sweet. I like your Vlad interviews better than your No Jumpers.
Me and No Jumpers getting better. He's just getting past the gangbang and talk to where he can really have him an intellectual black guy now. So me and him getting better.
13%
So I got something
of
real
women
big
have
coming
50% of sales. Exactly.
Adam and 4 Extra.
4 Extras back with him?
I made Adam go get back with him.
That makes sense. Well, that's cool.
Yeah, they called me yesterday. So me, Adam, and 4 Extra got something real big coming. I think 4 Extra would be good in the pop the balloons in the 20 versus 2 world.
You're playing Peacemaker then.
I'm playing the guy that had all the Avengers got together. What was the doctor name?
Doomsday or Endgame.
I'm getting everybody together, man. If you catch more bees with honey.
Well, that you do.
So I'm trying to take the lemons and make lemonade. I think it'd be great for entertainment for everybody who was once into it with each other. We're all now back on the same stage playing together. We don't have to like each other. We just play together.
Well, I can't wait for the new Vlad.
So this whole thing is a game to him. The whole thing is a game. You can't trust anything that he says because he's playing a game. He's like that damn character. What's that stuff called? You know what I'm saying? Let's play a game. Saw. So how can you can't trust a person that's constantly playing games, mind games to people. And this person gets the most interviews, makes the most money, and you and is completely just playing in your face, playing in everybody's face.
Yeah, it's gonna be a bang. It's gonna be crazy.
All right. I just hate how he prolongs it with all these clips and
Yeah. And I'm not paying attention with that phone.
No. Hey, the building shit right here.
Yeah. That's the sound of a man working on a back home in Miami, baby.
Right.
Yeah,
Probably about to
back
do
home
another
in
interview
Miami.
and talk about.
I've been on the internet for 6 or 7 years. I've been on the internet since the pandemic, since 2020. Why you asking stupid ass questions like that? You've been watching me be on the internet since 2020. What? Man, I ain't finna answer this question. Man, you don't work for kids. Shut up. Don't waking up ask questions. Why you worried about what I'm doing?
Man, wow. He helps create the problem so he can come in and save the day and make money. Wow. Shouts out to Control Geek. Thank you. Yeah, exactly. Creates an issue, jumps in, and then tries to come in and save the day.
You're worried about what I'm doing. Views don't
That's
went
gotta
all
be
the
the
way
most
down. Man, I've been on
narcissistic shit
tour.
I've ever
I barely
heard.
come to the internet. Views don't
Hey, Choice.
What's up, baby?
Hey, how you doing? I like watching your show.
Oh, really?
I like when you cuss them out.
I cuss they sound like I'm a post. I always worried about something that don't pay bills.
Yeah, I said he got hell on they playing with your ass.
Man, I'm sending out shows all over the country. Man, don't nobody make money.
I be watching all your shows. I be seeing when you cussing the girls out. You went on one of the shows, you cussed one of the girls out. Somebody. Then you went on the one.
Wow, these people are fucking kissing his ass. This guy is, come on now. Anyways.
That's the sound of a man working on a train. Hang.
Man, this guy.
Where am I going on there? In that shit.
Yeah, this guy, I can't even play no more of this. It's stupid. You know? What is he even talking about? What is he even talking about? Anyways, I thought he was gonna say something that made that actually was worth something. He ain't say nothing, you know. But I just wanted to just show you guys that he pretty much admitted that what he's saying is a bunch of bull stuff. He took advice from the American government. Yeah, exactly. You know. So, anyways, guys, I just wanted to cover this and talk a little stuff about what was happening. I don't, like I said this before, and I'm gonna continue to say it. Nobody won. Nobody wins in this situation. when you have a tragedy like this happen, it's not a win lose. It's not a win-win. Both people lose. 2 lives. And then you have a brother that's probably going to be living the life, you know, who knows how that's going to affect him. You have a family, how that's going to affect them. This is not something to, you know, people could just talk freely because, you know, they're not experiencing this from an emotional standpoint. We're watching it on TV. We're watching it on the internet, on our phones. So I think I'm not going to be cold-hearted or cold-blooded to either side. And I said that before. That's why I even played Jeff Metcalf's video. People need to exercise more empathy on both ends and understand from both sides that I don't think that anybody wants to kill anybody. I think it was a mistake. And I don't care what anybody says. So anyways, guys, much love. I'm going to be coming back a little bit later, discussing some conspiracies that I found while I was taking my break. I was some really interesting things dealing with AI and the water. There was a few things about AI and how we're supposed to be running out of water in July or something like that. I'm not sure if y'all heard about that. There's a lot of weird stuff. So I'm going to do a whole conspiracy panel to discuss the latest conspiracies that are out there. And, you know, disclaimer, you know, I'm not going to say that any stuff, this stuff is true, but hell, we might as well discuss it. The people are talking about it, you know? So I'm going to do a whole conspiracy panel. That's coming up soon, a little bit later on. So much love, guys. Peace.
Just when I thought I couldn't find my way out, yeah, I searched the God in me to find my way out. I know it can seem way out, but the Creator flows to and through me from way out. I'm talking way out, yeah, yeah, yeah. See, if you believe in the God in you,